Yeah, I haven't actually counted how many new caps there are because a few of the guys has been in and out of us for the last 4 or 5 weeks since Super Rugby ended. So I guess we're talking guys like Damien Willemse, which we decided back in June let him play in Junior World Cup and go through those ranks and work his way up. Although he was in camp with us in those alignment camps, I think see him as a future guy who can cover 10, 12 and 15, which is a wonderful thing to have in your team. I think he's one of the guys who's physically already ready for it at his age, so that's pretty young. So yes, I think versatility and definitely physically up there already. We saw that when he played for the Stormers already. He's probably one of the more physical flyers. Carl Brink is probably one of the guys who was on the radar way back, but just consistently had the injury with his shoulder and the nerve and didn't play consistently. So I think he had a little bit of a run now, and he showed again on Saturday that he can make the step up, and he's that in-between player that actually plays like a Dwayne Vermeulen. He can steal on the ground and he can jump in the line out and he can carry well. So he's not an out and out open sider, but he still does the blind side and the open side work. Who's the newcomer? Marco is obviously the guy that was in the mix 100%. He probably would have started in the English Test matches as the first choice, and then the match before the last one the Bulls played, his knee went. So, and since he's been playing, he's an out and out open sider like Francois Lowe and Heinrich Brosseau and those kind of guys. So it's nice to have somebody like that in the fold. And is there one more I'm missing?
That's the three.
That's the three, okay.
You spoke about Damien Willemse 10, 12 and 15, but he's been seen quite a bit at fullback. Do you see him as a guy who can start at fullback?
He's been seen quite a bit at fullback.
In training?
Oh yeah, training. No, definitely. No, we're definitely going to consider him there without a doubt. And not because Willie is not the first choice, because we're thinking of World Cup, and you can only go take 31 guys to the World Cup, and there's still the Frans Steins of the world and the Patrick Lambys of the world out there, which can do that job for you. Things change quickly in world rugby in terms of injuries. Like Patrick Lambie just went down, he's out till February still. Will he recover? Frans Stein, it's been a struggle the last few months to get him in time into camp. Now it's pre-season again with them, so you have to make alternative plans for if one of those things doesn't come off. And maybe, he surprises you so much that you don't actually look at the other guys, because he's a local boy and he's always available and always here, and you can always, he's in Cape Town, you invite him to any training session or video session, which we did the last 4 or 5 weeks. And maybe he's one of those guys like Frans Stein when he was 19, who can just step up to the plate and do it already. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons.
And then finally from me, Willie, from when is he available? Is he available for the first match?
Yes, Willie Leroux is available. Willie and Faf in Francois Lowe is available from the first match.
Rassie, there was speculation yesterday that you would be picking A and B team, so to speak. And, I'm not sure whether you saw the story, but you would give your A team in New Zealand and then give
Yeah, Stephen, it's not really A and a B team, and I don't think we currently, with the injuries we have currently, in that fortunate situation or position where we can really do that. It might change. Currently we've got 6 or 7 crucial injuries, which we don't have a luxury of picking 2 equally strong teams. And if you look up at the number of caps we have, it might be just too much of a risk to do things like that, and you don't want to go to Australia and get hammered. You want to try and beat Australia as well. So the only thing I was trying to explain is the fact that just because I've played there and I've experienced that myself, when you play Argentina home and away, and you come back and you fly to Australia and you get into that plane on that Monday or that Sunday, and you get into New Zealand on a Tuesday morning or Monday evening, they've only travelled once to Australia and back. And you've done travel around the world, and now you must perform against the world's best team who's sitting waiting for you there, fresh as a daisy and ready to take you for the picking. So I don't think, as we sit here today, we are in that position just because of injuries and experience to do that. My wording was maybe wrong when I spoke to the specific person about how we might be creative in trying to manage the players' workload and so on. It would have been ideal to send a few boys, not even a whole team, straight to New Zealand, that you maybe have your core of your team nice and fresh. But I don't think at that stage we have the luck just because of injuries to do
So
that.
it's unlikely, basically, that you're
Unlikely.
separating guys.
Unlikely, yes, unlikely.
Rassie Erasmus obviously comes back. Is he at 100%? Is he available for selection from the first championship test?
Yes, he's one of the guys who's trained with us since the Stormers had the bye, and they finished a week before the last game. They had a bye, so he's fallen with us. He's done every single physical thing. He's definitely functionally up there. He's definitely one of the fittest guys in the squad, that I can promise you, just by looking at his stats and the way he trained. But we still have to get the last medical box ticks in terms of the actual specialist signing him off. I'm pretty sure we'll get that, and I think he's one of the guys that because he had almost a full preseason with us now, yeah, if I can call it that way, that I would select him straight up there. If lack of game time doesn't bother me, because we simulated a hell of a lot of that at training.
Craig?
Rassie, you would have seen the All Black and the Rugby squad. Just something about their squads, and what is the aim to win the championship from your side of things?
Yeah, yes, as I said last time, I think those three things that we are consistently trying, and I'll tell it to the players today again, there's always a few players coming in, and at the beginning it was 7, then it was 14, then it was 18 as the Super Rugby teams fell out. So the Lions are joining us on Wednesday, and then we'll reiterate again, and there's three things, and the first one is winning, the second one is transforming, to make sure you're transforming, and the third one is to build depth and experience and a trusted squad, So winning will always be the primary thing, and as we all say, we know if just like the June matches, I probably won't sit here if we have a terrible Rugby Championship. So we would like to win, but we would like to have that long-term goal also in mind of building towards being successful. And I know sometimes that frustrates people, saying you're building toward the World Cup, but I'm not saying judge me on the World Cup. I'm saying let's build toward the World Cup while I must win currently. So yes, trying to win the Rugby Championship is a major thing. All Black squad, unbelievable squad. What strikes me of this squad is when you go through it, obviously apart from the age bracket and the experience that everybody can see, but it's just the spread of their players. The 3 9s is from different provinces. At the locks there's quite a few from the same, and in the props there's quite a few. But then it's a Hurricane and a Chief and a Highlander and we always discuss how do they do that. How do they still play so cohesive, but they're from all these different franchises? Of course, the fact that they all play the same manner is totally not true. Crusaders is totally a different brand than the Hurricane. So I think that their versatility, experience, and the mix-up of this squad is exciting and quite challenging. Obviously, everybody knows that.
Rassie, what was the thinking behind bringing back Flo, and would you be viewing him primarily as an open side player?
I think against certain, against certain guys, we'll need some more guys. We can't just rely on tackling the ball out of guys and hoping they make a mistake and putting their skill set under pressure. I don't think that's the way. I think the June Test matches, we can do that against England. With all respect to England, I don't think they always have the individual threats which the Southern Hemisphere teams have, like individuals, a guy that can just break you up and score a try from his own try line, where they more rely on mini moves and stuff, where the boys in the Southern Hemisphere is more X factor, So having guys being able to contest on the ground, like Malcolm, like Flo, Marco, those kind of guys. We might play them together at some stage. Flo played a wonderful game at 8 way back last year when we lost to New Zealand after the 57-pointer in the 2-pointer or 1-pointer at Newlands. Flo was 8th man for that whole game, and I've coached him again since he was 21 at Province. He's pretty versatile, so they might be in the same starting lineup sometimes, depending who's the opposition.
Rassie, I will say that just the makeup of the loose trail, we know Sia played 6, so you mentioned the versatility of the players. Would that mean a possible different role for Sia?
Yeah, when Sia started out playing, he was this lanky flanker that almost played like Warren. Just was bigger than the other boys and faster and stronger, and he ran on those outside channels. He's taught himself the role of, I think there was one coach that asked him to play like an open sider, and he focused a lot on that, and he really did well. He's brilliant over the ball. It's a great counter rucker, but probably not one of the best poachers of balls or slowing down opposition ball. I don't think in that specific area he's world class. With his line-out ability, he's probably a good option to try at the blindside flag. He'll always be in the team. He'll be the captain. So, he's played at 8 when I've coached him before. So, it's nice to have a guy like that and then build other guys around him. Yes, he might probably, not might, he'll probably play a few games at blindside.
Rassie was just continuing with Sia's captain. Was that an easy decision considering Warren and Eben are back in the league?
Yes, I think as we all just said here now with Eben, some of the guys asked, does he lack game time? So it would just be stupid to take a guy like him and after the success Sia had, I wouldn't say it was success or relative success we had against England. We definitely weren't world beaters there, but we managed to win the series. And the way Sia carried himself, and I think through a lot of emotional stuff, not negative emotional stuff. I think a lot of emotional stuff on his shoulders. He still carried it well and played relatively well. I think you'll see a Sia now who start playing really well. If I can tell you the way he's been training the last 3 weeks with us, because I think all the hoo-ha around the captaincy is starting to become normal now. So I'm excited to see him play. So yeah, I don't really think there was a stage where I personally doubted that he should be captain.
Hi, Rassie. 2 questions from me. Your reasoning behind the 4 scrum-offs, and also what's the latest on Jan Serpentine and where does he fit in your mind?
Maybe if I start with Jan, Damien he's not officially in the squad, but he's very close to being ready for the first game because he's under the injured list, but he might be ready for that first game, and I thought he was one of the guys that is slowly getting back to his best. I think a guy like Andre Esterhuizen had a tough run. Both games that he started was in the wet, the one against the Welsh and then the one in Cape Town in the wet, and so always for the biggest boys, the nicest thing to play in the wet weather. So I think he must get a fair chance somewhere. Jan is definitely a guy that at age group level beat the young junior All Blacks and those kind of things, so you can never throw that away. I think I know he had a pretty bad injury which he's busy sorting out, and I went to see him and he's very keen to play for us, but he wants to get back to form, play for his club a few games, and I can't see him participating in the Rugby Championships. And sorry, what was the other question? The 4 scrum-offs, yeah. I just, we know where we're going with Ambrose. We know, it's a guy that every minute he learns something from Faf, and Ivan is that in-between one where, he's a solid guy to start, also a game. He understands, he's a very good communicator. So I think the 3 levels of 9s we have in the mix is great now. But then again, you can't keep ignoring a 9 who takes a team to Super Rugby finals. And I've never coached and worked with Ross, so just like in the beginning when we didn't pick Ivan and then he just kept on performing, I think it's just fair to have a look at him, and maybe he starts and maybe he becomes in the mix, or maybe after 2 or 3 weeks we release him. Just want to get some eyes on him.
Rassie, there was some, there was some debate about Elton's last performance in the third test against England and again over the weekend. Are you confident that he'll be a big game player based on what we've seen recently?
Yeah, I knew this one was going to be one of my toughest to answer. I said it to Rayan, and I'm really clear in my head of most of the things, and I never knew actually Elton before, so I started coaching him here with the box now. I didn't know him as a person, and I'm not here to defend a guy's character, but it's one of the best guys to work with in terms of analyzing, getting there, wanting to getting right, trying it again, staying extra, doing extras. It's difficult to explain to people, and there might some people that love this and other people that hate what I'm saying currently. And to take a Super Rugby team into 3 finals consecutively as the fly-off, you must be so close to doing something really great, and then in the same breath, at the end you actually don't make it, and then people judge you on that. Just a simple example would be the previous week Bowden Barrett played against the Crusaders, and they got a 30 points in New Zealand, and he wasn't maybe the reason that they lost, but I think that's the margins where some players just step up and make it. I think if Andre Pollard goes down now, there's no doubt in my mind currently Elton will be our second choice, and we will run with him. So whatever his hiccups is at that final hurdle, we must help him with that, sort it out. I think one of the biggest things, and it's maybe something I must more speak to him in person, but he's been now Super Rugby, Japan, Super Rugby, Japan, Super Rugby, without a minute of rest, you know. So maybe that also sometimes catch up with you. But about his talent, I have no doubt. We must find a way to get him to perform right to the highest level, and then that's our jobs as coaches to help him do that.
Rassie, having said that, Damien Willems obviously is also fly out. Do you perhaps see the utilizing the same way that New Zealand brought in big fly-offs, for example, with Damon McKenzie and Golden Barrett, starting at 15 and gradually moving to 10?
No, very valid point. I think Patrick Lambie started out like that, played about how many games at fullback before he actually moved to 10. I mean, when he started out age group level, Frans Steyn, a lot of games that he played at fullback and then he went to 10. I think it helps you a lot with understanding how to manipulate the opposition. Yes, I think so, and I think we're going to definitely try him like that. I'm not sure how quickly he's going to get it right and make a World Cup squad. I can also tell you there hasn't been a World Cup won with a fly-off younger than 24 years old. So, you know, that's your quarterback, that's your position where you must be in control, and you know, everybody must say, this is our go-to man. So, probably a position like 15 at his age currently is probably something where the pressure might be a little bit less, and you can blood him into a team. But he's been going well this last 4 weeks with us, and hopefully when he will get his chance in the next 2 games against Argentina. And let's see how he handles that, and then we'll take it from there.
Right, just a word on
Rassie, just after June, can you give us a sense of how those discussions with Schalk Brits went, and where you are with that?
Yes, I think, let me be frankly honest with you. I think if we go the 3 hookers we have currently, we take them to the World Cup without Schalk Brits. I'm not talking the 3 who's in our group now, Akker and the other 2 boys. I think you can win a World Cup with them, with their quality. But I think if a guy like Malcolm goes down and we go into a World Cup and we've got the other 2 boys and there's another injury, I think we're in trouble. You know, so that's why a guy like Bismarck or Schalk Brits or somebody like that, they might not even make the World Cup squad if the other 3 boys stay fit. But again, just in terms of solid experience, being there, done that, then the next choice, you know, solid, having done that, won't drop you, and then the youngster coming through. In terms of that, we're okay, but because it's such a crucial position, which is hooker. So how far is the discussions with him? We're in the process, you know, he was going to retire. He's definitely fit enough to play still. He's in talks with a few clubs, and I would like to try him here and there to keep him in the mix, keep him interested, keep him part of the plans. For if we have to press on his number, we can, but it hasn't been sorted out yet.
I'd just like to know, with Luaz and Bobo coming back, obviously to lose Sibu and Kosi, having done so well in the series.
Yes.
You coming back, did you perhaps look at players like Dylan Leitz or Ruan Pomlet for that matter?
We did look at both of them, you know, and I feel the things we need in our back 3, Luazi will bring more to the current system, and you know, having worked with him and him being part of the camps, the alignment camps, I think the amount of time, because Sabu is going to become fit again and Warwick Galant is going to become fit again. I don't think, I just think he's the right fit currently for what we need.
Rassie, how's these couple of weeks been with the squad? And what are some of the things that you've really worked on?
Obviously, at the beginning it was 7, and as I said, then the Bulls guys came in, so it was bits and pieces, and we used some 7s guys who train against and so on. So in the beginning it was just conditioning to make sure it was the guys don't all go on hunting and fishing and going on holidays and then come back and have to play against teams who's been playing to quarterfinals and semi-finals and finals of Super Rugby, like sometimes happened in the past. You know, when a team falls out in quarterfinal, you know, you get 2 weeks off and then you go into Rugby Championships, which is, you can probably say they need a rest, but then on the other hand, the Crusaders didn't get a rest right to the final, you know, so we try to keep them conditioned, to make sure they're in and some of them better conditioned than they were, and then obviously fundamental things that you don't get to do if you don't play rugby, like normal tackle technique and, you know, evasion skills, high ball catching, breakdown work, stuff like that, and as we built it up and got more into numbers, we started doing a little bit more of tactical stuff, how we want to try and play in the Rugby Championships. And then now with the Lions coming in on Wednesday, we'll go full on into our actual plan. So it was a nice build up, and I definitely think we'll reap the rewards.
Thanks, Coach. Afrikaans?
Rassie, waar voel jy staan die spelers na die Super Rugby reeks? Verlede jaar selfe span aan die eindstryd opgeëindig. Ander span by die kwart uitgeval, ander nie gemaak nie. En die rugby kampioenskap het nie so goed verloop vir die Springboks nie. Waar voel jy staan die spelers?
In terme van in die koppe.
Ja.
Weet jy, toe Nick Mallet ons afgerig het in 98, 99, toe ons 17 toetse in 'n ry gewen het, toe ons Cats 12 op die lok, ek dink die span wat omtrent die boogste was 4de, 5de, daar was een span wat dalk 'n semi-final gemaak het, so ek dink baie keer, het pla baie ouens seker baie langer as ander, en baie ouens sien dit as extra baggage, en hulle sukkel om die apie van die rug af te kry, en dit pla hulle baie, en ander ouens sien dit, luister ek sien 'n nuwe setup, ek 'n Springbok setup, ek speel vir my land, so ek dink dit verskil van speler tot speler. Ja, ek dink toe ons in die Engelse toetse ingegaan het, veral nadat ons teen Wallis verloor het, en ons is na 14 minute 24-3 agter, jy weet, vir die ouens om daai te kon omgedraai het, is ek nie regtig bekommerd oor die Super Rugby reeks se performance te sien. Het sou lekker gewees het om confidence te hê. En aan die ander kant, die Lions het nog steeds beter. Hoeveel spanne is daar in Super Rugby? 18. 15, ja. Hulle het nog steeds beter as 13 ander gedoen, jy weet. So as ons so bietjie confidence is ons ingaan. So ek dink dit verskil maar van speler tot speler. Ons as coaching staff, eerlik te wees, plaat die baie.
Rassie, just want to replicate some of those answers you gave in English. Just something on the guys making it, Damon and Carl Frank and Marco.
Was hy just in Afrikaans, goed. Ja, die ouens wat obviously nie in die span is Damian Willemse wat deel van die alignment kamp ook was, wat ons gedink het, dis ouetjie vir die toekoms wat dalk kan oorweeg word vir die World Cup volgende jaar, en obviously vir die latere World Cup. So ons het hom nou ingetrek met Warwick Geland se besering en Cebu se besering, en want Warwick het so 'n bietjie vir jou vleuel gecover, en hy cover vir jou fullback, en ons het 'n hele paar beserings, en Willie is beskikbaar, en dit is altyd lekker as jy 'n ou soos Damien het, wat 'n moontlike 10, 12, 15 oplossing vir jou kan word, soos 'n Frans Steyn of 'n Patrick Lambie, en jy wil net, jy kan die ou nou toets, alhoewel jy weet Patrick is daar, en Frans is daar, dalk is hy 'n local ouetjie, soos wat Frans toe hy 19 was, dit gedoen het vir ons saam met Jake White, hulle, kan Damien dalk een van die ouens wees, want hy is fisies gereed daarvoor, en dan Kyle was nog altyd in die mix gewees, in terme van, is hy goed genoeg, elke keer was dit, hy het net so niggling skouer, nerve injury, wat, ons gaan actually om eers Woensdag toets, as hy aankom om te sien, kan hy die oefening lading dra, is hy 100% gereed. As hy nie reg is, sal ons hom 10 toe aan terugstuur, maar hy's een van die ouens, hy speel amper soos Dwayne, hy's nie regtig 'n blindside, maar hy steel balle, hy dra lekker, hy stop momentum, hy kry momentum, so hy sal baie party toe bring, en eens Marco dan, nee. Marco is die open side wat, hy weet, soos ek vir die ouens gesê het, hy sou gestart het teen Engeland, as niemand beseer was, so hy die starting open sider gewees het, en toe die Saterdag op Loftus het hy seer gekry, so dis maar basies die 3 nuwe ouens in die mix.
Something about Sia and how easy that was to keep the best captain?
Yeah, Sia as captain, it wasn't a difficult season, and fuck. Ja, maar julle. Jy sal dit edit, nee. Sia as kaptein, het was regtig 'n moeilike keuse, en ek is baie opgewonde oor hoe hy gaan speel, want ek dink dit was regtig 'n healthy emosionele ding vir hom gewees, deur daai Junie toetse, en met ek myself toe ons hom aangekondig het, nie besef wat hoe swaar en hoe moeilik so iets, nie negatief nie, maar die expectation op sy skouers was, en ek dink hy het solid perform. Ek dink as min dat jy 'n kaptein die laaste 5-6 minute in toetse van die veld af gehaal het, maar ek dink die ou het regtig deur baie tawwe positiewe emosionele stres gegaan as ek dit so kan sê in Junie. En ek dink hy het met vleiende vaandels daardeur gekom en hy oefen nou 3 weke saam met ons, jy weet so. Ouens wat seker challenge vir daai posisie is ouens soos Eben en Warren en so aan, maar hulle almal kom maar terug van beserings af en ja, dit was vir my 'n no-brainer en ek's baie excited om te sien wat ons van C gaan kry want ek dink sy rugby game gaan nou sy kapteinskap begin match.
There's something about the All Black Wallaby squad in Afrikaans. What your aims that you aim to win the Rugby Championship?
Ja, soos ek vir die ouens gesê het en ons sal dit nou soos die leeu's inkom sal ons kom na Woensdag en sal ons dieselfde met hulle weet weer seker maak. Die aim was altyd van ons die werk aanvaar het is wen is die heel belangrikste en dan transformasie uitsorteer, nie net praat daaroor dit actually doen. En dan die laaste een is om diepte te bou en experience te bou en 'n squad 'n goeie wêreldbeker squad te bou. So eerste ding ons weet hoe taaf die Rugby Championships gaan wees. Maar ons weet ook as ek hier so sit en sê ons is 'n jong span, ons het net 2 caps, 3 caps. Ons is besig om te bou vir die wêreldbeker of judge mee op die wêreldbeker. Ons almal weet julle gaan hier so sit en oor 3 weke vir my sê Rassie, is jy onder druk, is jy op pad uit. So wen sal maar altyd die belangrikste bly. Maar ja, daai transformasie en hy diepte bou en experience bou is definitief iets wat ons hard aan werk elke keer as 'n span kies.
Laastens,
Rassie, jy noem van Damien wat jy sien as 'n 12-15 opsie ook. Andre is daar, wat van Andre? Hoe lyk jou planne met hom? Sal hy ook kan oorvat by 12 as jy hom nodig daai het?
Ja, definitief en hy het al so 'n bietjie fullback ook gespeel. In sy lewe. So daar's 'n hele paar interessante goed wat ek dink ons kan nog probeer, maar ons speel eintlik nou verder hierdie jaar teen spanne waar jy nou kwai kan eksperimenteer, jy weet. Ons speel teen moeilike spanne wat jy sommer gou pak slaag kan gee as jy te veel wil eksperimenteer. Maar myself sê altyd langs 'n aanry. Langs 'n aanry sal interessant wees om te sien of daai nie dalk die initiële ding is wat die kalm te bring vir 80 minute in 'n heel grootse vlak hier. Dis ook iets waaroor ek al baie gewonder het. En as die geleentheid om voordoen en ons wen en ou kan hier en daar hy veranderinge maak, is definitief iets wat ou kan oorweeg.